I can't hear myself. Hey, everybody. Zavzan here. How is everybody doing today? Hey, Kim. Good to see you.
Seffi, your screen is doing funky things. You're all pixelated. Now you're getting better. Now you look more like you. Okay.
Yay.
Yay. It took a minute to warm up. Yay.
Myself.
Hey, everybody.
Can you hear me? All right. Just to make sure that I have all
gremlins are in your house today.
I know, gremlins in the house today. Well, how is everybody doing today? Kim has her coffee. I'm kind of jealous because I'm like, without coffee, without enough
my DH made it for me, my darling. Every morning I get greeted with my coffee.
Anyways, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Momentum Tribe Mojo Show. And I'm just gonna do a quick screen share so you can see what in the world we're all about. And yes, we're all about helping you folks out there who are building your business, create the momentum, build the constant momentum to get to where you want to be from where you are today. Then we always talk about action, right, Kim? Action, action, action. Without action, no mojo. So create action plans and take action that will get you results. In today's episode, we're pretty excited because we're going to talk about speak like a pro, watch your business grow. Oh my goodness. I just want to say I'm pretty excited about the guest today. So before we get started, I'm going to let Kim say hello to all of you on YouTube Live and on Periscope. Thank you for tuning in to the Momentum Tribe Mojo Show.
Hi, guys. See, I never thought in a million years I'd be on YouTube Live or Periscope because I don't know how to go there by myself. So it's nice to meet all of you. Welcome to the Momentum Tribe. We're a group of people who just have more life happening than, popcorn in a movie theater. And we still have big goals and we stick together and we get them done. So whether you have more drama than a soap opera in your life or you're like me, more issues than tissues, that's okay. You're in the right place. And we are living proof you can make your quirks work.
So, a little bit
good morning.
Who you are, my dear?
Who am I? I am Kim Kasparian, known as the Success Genie, or as Zeph calls me, the Clarity Kim. I am the person you come to when you have a big dream in your heart, but you really don't have the clarity or vision on how to get there, So if you are not feeling successful, and successful for me is peace in your spirit, joy in your heart, profit in your pocket, all at the same time, you come have a conversation with Clarity Kim and we'll figure it out.
Boom, everybody. Boom. And that's what we're talking about. So today in this episode, as you can see, we want to talk about, speak like a pro, watch your business grow. For some of you who probably have never seen me on YouTube Live, well, I'm Zavzan. Pleasure to meet you. Yeah, I created the Momentum Tribe because we wanted to inspire people to really create the momentum and take action. Because Kim, like Kim says, more issues than tissues, right? More drama than soap opera. So we all have that, and we figured everybody needs to lift somebody up somewhere. We started the show because we really wanted to share and inspire with everybody to take the action, create the action plan so that you can get results. The momentum is the most important part because there will be times you will be challenged and you go like, do I move forward or do I with the momentum? But anyways, hello everybody. I'm Zavzan of Zavzan.com. What do? I work with overwhelmed experts and entrepreneurs who just don't have the time to do traditional networking or are not getting results from traditional networking and just want to find a more effective and more efficient way to get to their ideal clients. And I do that by helping you use live video strategies. Boom. All right. So I'm always here online somewhere in this online world, streaming live, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, or I would say Periscope or YouTube Live. But today I'm not streaming on Facebook because that's a different story for a different day. Anyways, today's topic, we're going to talk about speak like a pro, watch your business grow. I want to show you all something, which is time for our guest. So who's our guest for this week? Yay! So when I met her, I was introduced to Shannon. So I'm going to put her up on screen right here. Our guest today is Shannon Malkin Daniels, and she is the founder of Speak Success. She's an author and public speaking, communication, and mindset coach. She works with small and mid-sized businesses to unearth the unique differentiators and create messaging that sets them apart from the competition so that they can attract more customers, increase profitability, and experience greater success. Well, Shen also teaches communication at Columbia University and Ina College in New York, I believe so. So that being said, I actually met her at a networking event, and you know who this is. We speak of our previous co-host, Kim, Andy Luigi.
Andy.
So yeah, our man, Andy, if you're watching, hey, shout out to you. So I'm pretty excited to bring her on, and let's bring her on.
Hi, everybody.
Good to have you on the show. Whoop, whoop. We've been trying to get you on for so long, girl. You know, go back and forth. You know how that email, the social media stuff, and then we get to you on the show. We're like, yay, Shannon's coming on the show.
Craziness. Well, I'm always happy to be on the show with you. You bring so much energy, and it makes me excited. So I'm really excited to be here. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So, Shannon, I just want to do a quick shout out to everybody who's watching on YouTube Live right here in Crackcast with us. Tish, thank you so much for helping us out today. She's saying, hashtag Zeph is still real. I still am.
Yeah, she said hashtag Zeph is still here.
That's true. So we did a little bit of intro, and today we're going to talk about Speak Like a Pro, watch your business grow. Remember that first time we met, Shannon? I must say this, folks. When I first met Shannon in person, yes, we've met in person. This is one of those people that I've actually met in person. I met her in person. I was pretty much intimidated because it was the first event that I'm speaking with that I spoke with 4 other speakers, and she was one of them. I'm looking at everybody's credentials. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a live streamer. Okay, where do I stand amongst these people? But, you know, I learned so much from her. And that's why I said you need to come back on my show so that we can share the same points about public speaking, about speaking better, you know, especially if you're considering to speak out there, right? Going into the speaking circuit. Okay. So, Shannon, just a quick intro maybe for us to add on to the intro that I don't have on my screen. A little bit about you, maybe a 30 seconds about you know, the whole thing of what you do.
Yeah. So thank you again for having me. I'm really excited to be here. And I am here to talk about public speaking. I call myself a messaging maven half the time because that's really what I focus on. I focus on messaging and how to deliver messaging effectively, whether it's through public speaking or through your written or online communications. So I just love public speaking. I love getting out there. I'm one of those weirdos. People say that public speaking, and actually surveys on an annual basis show that people fear public speaking more than death itself. I'm here to tell you it's not that bad. It just takes a little practice. And so I love working with people. I work with small and mid-sized businesses and business owners to help them really harness their confidence, develop their messaging, and then figure out the best way to get out there and deliver it so you can really be more successful.
That's so true. Okay, I'm going to share a funny story, but it's a little bit embarrassing, but I learned a lot from it. So Shannon, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on is also I want to really learn from you. And I think you've got great points. One of the recent experiences was I was invited to speak at a local Toastmasters. Zach has never done a Toastmasters, people. Yes, I've never done, but I was invited to an all-star night. And then I was like, okay. And I said yes. In the excitement of the invitation, I said yes. And I was saying to myself, okay, as a live streamer, I sometimes can cheat a little bit because I have notes right here, I have notes right there, or I have notes right here, right? And I'm like, 10 minutes. Okay. And I said, okay, the easiest way is to tell my story because the storytelling is the easiest part to deliver, you know, a talk or a presentation. Mm-hmm. So at that time when I was about to get on to speak, like literally 1 minute, I almost threw up. And I was like, I wish I was training with Shannon because I really want to throw up right now because I feel like, oh my God, I don't have the confidence. I literally almost walked out. So I really get it when you say people have this fear. I related to that. I mean, it was real. Hashtag that. That was real. So I really appreciate you coming on.
Real.
I know the fear is real. So let's get on to our first question of the day. And I think in going forward, especially for all of us out there who are really considering public speaking and going out there to speak, in the speaking circuit, what are some of the key fundamentals of a good presentation, Shannon?
Yeah, and that's a really great question. And there are a lot of fundamentals of public speaking. I spend semesters teaching students on public speaking, but I'm going to give you 5 of the ones that I think are really, really important and are really crucial, foundational fundamentals that everyone should know. The first one is that less is more. We always try to overdo it. We want to tell everybody everything, especially when it comes to our business or our product or our service or whatever it is that we're talking about, because we love it. We're excited about it, right? And we get this thing, think about as an audience member, information overload, So it's really key to remember that when you're doing public speaking, less is more. And the general rule of thumb is you want to have 3 to 5 main points. 5 main points is for a longer presentation.
So 3 to 5 main points is usually how long, Shannon?
Yeah, so you think about it about 1 main point per every 10 minutes. So you want to give yourself, sometimes it's a little less, but you want to give yourself about 10 minutes per main point, and keep in mind that you have to have an introduction and a body and a conclusion. So having those 3 to 5 main points are your body part only. So yeah, you want to try not to overwhelm your audience with too much.
Information overload, like, oops, it goes.
We've never had that happen, Zeph, have we? We never had that experience. We never had that problem.
Kim knows.
Yep. You want people to retain the information, right? And to go along with that, you need to have a core message. A lot of people have all these random points that they just throw out there, but they're not connected to an overarching message. So there's a disconnect there. And then the audience leaves feeling confused, right? So you want to make sure that all of your main points are focused in on one core message or one overarching theme that you're trying to have that audience leave with. And I already mentioned it. The third point here is to have a structure. You have an intro, a body, and a conclusion. And you want to make sure you structure those main points in a way that flow and that they all connect and build on one another. So that will really help the audience to be pulled along with you and really understand what it is that you're trying to convey to them. And then, especially for those business owners out there and those salespeople out there, you need to make sure, the 4th tip is to have a call to action. So many times when people are speaking, they get up there, they give this great presentation, but then they don't tell their audience what they want them to do. So the audience leaves going, that was a great presentation. And then you never hear from them again. And when you try to follow up with them, you don't hear back from them and you wonder why. You need to tell them what action you want them to take as a result of hearing you speak, whether that's booking a free consultation, visiting your website, attending your live online event.
Yes, right? There you go. I'm learning.
So, and then the 5th tip, which is the most important, I would say, of all of the tips, is practice, practice, practice. I speak all the time, and there's certain workshops I give over and over and over again, but I still practice every single time I'm going to deliver it. And I do it ahead of time. I do it standing up, or so that it's like I'm in front of my audience. I'll do it in front of a mirror. I'll practice my verbal delivery, my nonverbal cues, my hand gestures. And so it's not just content and structure, and it's not just your verbal delivery. It's the combination of those 2 things that are really winning. So those 5 fundamentals real quick: less is more. Have a core message, make sure your presentation has a structure, have a call to action, and practice, practice, practice.
I love how she says practice, practice, practice 3 times. That is a lot of practice.
because it's that important.
Yes. So let me quickly ask this, because this is one of the biggest conversations, or when people talk about public speaking, and when you talk about the word structure, maybe people are like, okay, how do I really structure this? Any tips, any quick tips as to like, how do you structure a good presentation? Because when structure may come across differently to many people, you know, and for me, structure is, you know, having a process like number 1, 2, 3, 4 in my presentation, because it's a production-based presentation. Now, in a public speaking structure, what would you kind of focus on? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, there's a number of different structures you can use when structuring a presentation. One is like a cause and effect, and you can either start with the effect and then talk about the causes, or you can start with a cause and talk about the effects as a result of that cause, and making sure you're tying back to whatever it is there. You can also talk about things in a timeline, for example, from beginning to end, and talk about a process starting with step 1, step 2, step 3. Or if you're telling a story or talking about history, you can talk about it from earliest to latest, or start latest and go back to previous dates. Whatever it is, you want to make sure you're not jumping around in that timeline, that you're doing it in an orderly fashion. So those are 2 examples of what a structure might be.
I love that, because what you just gave me was, this is what I mean. Whenever I, you know, present, any of us present, I'm sure Kim will have her own story to share too, but, you know, the cause and effect timeline and storytelling as in start to the end, like how much information, and, you know, how do we structure that, and everything. Would you say like in the cause and effect, that's a different way to present, in timeline process, that's a different way to present, and also storytelling, there's a different way to present. Am I right?
Yeah, and there's different ways you use the stage with each, and there's different ways you structure your, for example, PowerPoint presentation or whatever that may be. But at the core of it, your presentation principles are all the same. Your verbal and nonverbal delivery techniques, and those 5 fundamentals I mentioned. When we're talking about the basic structure, you always have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. And in the introduction, you tell them what you're going to tell them. Then you have your body with your main points, and in your conclusion, you tell them what you told them, to wrap it all up and reinforce. You're giving kind of the highlights of, this is what you can expect to hear. Listen for this. I'm going to tell you the 3 things you need to know to lose 10 pounds in 10 days. Number 1 is, right? Number 2 is, and number 3 is. And then in your conclusion, today we talked about the 3 things you need to know. Blah, 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 blah. Tie it up. You're not going to reiterate in detail, that's what the body is for, but you're reinforcing those important parts of your message, so people take that away, and then your call to action. So if you want to lose 10 pounds in 10 days, give me a call or email me. Here's how you contact me.
I love she's giving us examples. So, you know,
she's talking about the structure, and it's important that you have a structure, and the content is concise. And this is what I learned from my many years of speaking, because I always wanted to give information. It's not so much of the information unless you're training. If you're a trainer, your job is to give this amount of information in this amount of time, and do it in a way that's retainable, that's presentable. If you're speaking to get engagement, and I learned this the hard way, even though I've been in sales for over 30 years, you know, it's benefit, not features. I started doing my presentation with curriculum. Whatever those 3 points that you're going to say, and you should give them something, because you have to back up what you're saying. You need to speak the language of WIFM, WIIFM. What's in it for me?
Yes.
We all know to lose weight, I need to drink water, I need to walk more, exercise more, and eat less. We hear that. That's true. And it's very, you can say it clearly, professionally, but if you really want people to take action, forget that. You got to talk about what's in it for them.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, and that took me a long time, because that's the difference between a boring but eloquent and professional speaker and an engaging speaker.
Right.
And you do need to put the both together, because if you don't learn the professional etiquette of speaking, you really won't excel. And I personally can't, I cringe when everyone wants a PowerPoint, but there's times that you have to use them.
Yes.
It's the engagement. It's that ability to connect with the audience.
Absolutely.
And talk up, right. And that's what's going to get people to take your card or fill out your survey, or say, yes, I'd love to have whatever your call to action is. And that is equally as important as your speaking techniques. Absolutely. But however, if you're doing it to get business, start with that first. So Shannon, let's ask, we did some of the key fundamentals of a good presentation. Question 2, Zev, I know you're in the background doing something.
Yep.
What would you say for beginners is the number one tip? Like there's so much to learn. Like you said, you teach semester after semester after semester on this. So there's always more to learn. But if they're just starting out, what's the number one tip so that people can have a successful presentation, even if they're just starting out?
Yep. And the number one tip is what you just said, and you hit it right on the nose. What's in it for them is know your audience. I can't tell you how much time I just pounded into my clients' heads, and we spend so much time digging into the audience and who they are and what are their interests and what are their values and what do they want. Because at the end of the day, you're not standing up and talking to yourself. You're standing up and talking to an audience of people. So what is important to that audience of people that you're standing in front of? And your message is going to change for each and every audience.
Yes.
It's the same type of people in every audience.
Yeah.
So you need...
That's why... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you need to be able to adapt, and you need to know who those audience members are, have a good idea of their profile, and then find what I call the sweet spot. So many people, when they're presenting, they talk about what they're knowledgeable about and what they're interested in, and they leave out the most important aspect, which is what the audience cares about. And so your sweet spot is where you take your knowledge and your interests, your products, your services, whatever those are, and you intersect those. I don't have a third hand, but you intersect those with what your audience.
You're doing a very nice Venn diagram right there. You're doing a very nice diagram.
And where all very nice. Three things overlap, you get this little area where all these three things overlap. And that is what you want to be talking about. That is your sweet spot.
Yeah.
And if I said anything else, yes, it's important to have a strong message that's structured and makes sense.
Absolutely.
And it's important to have good verbal and nonverbal delivery skills. But if you have one or both of those and you are not paying attention to what's in it for your audience and what they care about, doesn't matter. Nobody's going to hear you.
I love the way you say know your audience and pay attention to who they are.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Think about it. How many speakers don't do that? They're very knowledgeable. They've got great knowledge. But how many people, networking and live streaming stuff, you hear people talking all the time. Yep. When you guys are watch when you listen on live stream or you're at a networking and you're having a speaker, watch to see how many people do or do not do what Shannon said. And you'll notice the ones that you gravitate to, the ones that you remember are the ones that do follow Shannon's steps.
Yep. And then you can also notice if you're doing this, then they're obviously not attracting you and talking about what's in it for you.
I so agree. And that's why I said in a room where you're presenting in person, you got to be aware of all of this, all your environment, your audience. I do have a question to support this. I think that goes into this question is, do you have a suggestion on how to get to know your audience if you cannot research that ahead of time? Like if you go for like meetup events and you're speaking to the group, you kind of have a way to research your audience because people RSVP, blah, blah, blah. You have a way to do that. But what if you arrive at that location where you're speaking at and suddenly you were told that, they're small business owners and this is their background, and then you get a little bit of a mix there. Now, how do you know your audience ahead of time before you get on stage or before you speak and kind of tailor it a little bit to your audience? So suggestion, like I'm thinking maybe, an impromptu adjustment to the presentation.
Yep. So I always recommend that you don't script out your presentation. First of all, studies have shown that people who script out their presentation word for word have higher anxiety levels.
Hallelujah.
And then, because you're so worried about getting everything right and staying on script, if you lose your place, it's, what happens?
Yeah.
And you can't adjust to your audience that way. I recommend having bullet points and having that core message and those main points and a general structure for what you're going to talk about and how you're going to talk about it. But then once you know who your audience is, you can adapt your presentation.
Yeah, a good tip is, if you find, because I've been in that situation, you have, and that's why it's so important to have an introduction, a core, and a call to action, because it's like 3 ingredients.
Yes.
Cooking, right?
Yes.
Zeph is a great cook. 3 ingredients. You know these 3 ingredients like the back of your hand, and depending on who you're serving, you can change it up by what you add to it or what you take out. So it's the same thing. And that happens a lot, when I've spoken.
Yeah.
If you really get into a pinch, if you're like, oh my God, and the anxiety, just ask them, say, and this is what I say, I came with a talk, but forget the talk. I'm here for you.
Yes,
exactly. And I love to make your life magical, what would it be? And I will answer those 3 points. And then they give you a little something, and you can weave it back into your talk.
What I think you just mentioned there, Kim, is the fact that learn to be a little bit impromptu. Because it's good to do that. You can't really be so scripted that because for me, if I
hello, am I back?
Yes, but we don't see the camera. Try to refresh.
You're frozen, Shannon. Just refresh your browser.
Just refresh your browser. But anyways, I was saying, we have to, it doesn't come overnight, right, Kim? It's something that you learn over time, but you just have to be prepared. I think we have to be prepared when we go in, be a little bit impromptu. You don't have to be perfect. Like Kim said, you have to go like, okay, I prepared A, but A didn't really happen. So let's get on with it.
Well, and also too, that's why less is more.
Yes.
That's why less is more. If you want more, let them come to your room.
Yes.
And that's so.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
I was in the middle of talking and everything froze.
Yeah, welcome to my world, Shannon. It happens to me more than it doesn't.
The gremlins.
Yeah, I'm always in my neck of the woods. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways. Yay! But
saying be able to adapt on the fly.
There you go.
And also, if you can get there early and go around and shake some hands, meet some people. A, it helps reduce anxiety.
Yeah.
And B, it will also help you get to know your audience. I always like to call ahead if I'm agreeing to do a presentation and ask whoever's booking me what kind of people they're expecting.
I do too.
That really helps as well.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. Sorry about the frozen.
No, that's okay. All right. Hey, technology, this is live, people. Before Kim closes us out with the last question, I just want to tell everyone of you out here, if you're watching this, if you're watching on Periscope or you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube Live, you can come to our broadcast room right here where we actually have our notes and all our timestamp videos. We would also love for you to take our poll. If you go to momentumtribe.live, just log in, and there is a poll tab under our video frame here. And the 2 poll questions that we have right now is, have you done any public speaking in the past 6 months? Or if you're a public speaker, which of the following is your biggest challenge? And just take that poll. We would love to see, because I'm sure Shannon would love to see, the audience. If you're watching this, she would love to see, like, what's the average audience wanting to do speaking engagements and do more public speaking and that sort of stuff. So that being said, people, it goes to our third question.
Third question is, Shannon, can you explain to our audience how public speaking can grow their business? Because some people don't. I'm living proof that it works, because I've been doing it for 18 years. And that's how I started, because I didn't have much else to work with. I didn't have a budget. But tell people who are new to this or don't quite make the connection between public speaking and growing a business. How does that work?
Absolutely.
They're like, I don't want to be I'm not looking to be a paid speaker. Well, that's not the point.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily about being a paid speaker. I'm a paid speaker, but I also do a lot of free speaking because it's a way to build awareness of yourself, build awareness of your business, of your products, of your service. So that's first and foremost, just getting out there, exposing yourself to people builds that awareness that you're there and you have these products or services to offer to people. So and it's free. It's free to go out and speak. It just takes some time, and you just got to find a place.
Give everyone a tip on if they love this idea, how do they go out into their community and let people know that they're available for speaking? What's the first step?
Yeah, so networking is a great first step. Getting out there, meeting people, going to networking events. Like Zeph and I met at one of Andy's events where he was booking speakers, and we both got booked to speak that day. So, and I met Andy through networking event at the Stanford Innovation Center. And we got to talking and said, hey, let's do an event together, right? So networking is a great way to go out and do that. Also finding where some great target audiences may be for you and just approaching places like libraries and little coffee shops and stores around the area, whatever it may be. I've done book readings in athletic stores, right? So there's lots of different places that you can go and just talk. And most people are generally happy to have a speaker come in because it attracts people to their location as well. And it helps boost their business. So it's building those relationships.
Yeah. And I think to bring it back to.
Go ahead.
And I think a way to bring it back to the beginning is it all starts with having a core message and a core signature talk.
Mm-hmm.
So when you meet people and they say, what do you do or what do you speak on, you have something to say.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
And you can start with one signature talk and build out your signature talks from there. So you have a little portfolio of things to offer. Like I regularly do score workshops. And so I have a portfolio that they lean on and they say, hey, can you do this one at this location now? Right. So as you build that and speak more, it can really help. And
so what would you say how can public speaking or giving presentations help us grow a business?
Yeah. So like I said, first of all, it can help you build awareness of your business, let people know you're there, your product services, which is one of the hardest things, right? Letting people know you're there.
Yeah.
Google ads and Facebook Live videos.
Eyeballs.
Get eyeballs, get publicity. You also, what's really great about public speaking that is really not available in any other form of marketing, yourself or your business, is you have a captive audience that is there to see you. So you have this opportunity to stand up in front of them and be the expert in something and just have their full attention on you for 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour plus. When I'm doing score workshops, I have a room of 70 people whose eyeballs are on me for 2 hours straight, right? So you really have an opportunity to display your expertise and build that connection in a really high touch way with a captive audience that are all your target because they're obviously coming there because they're interested in what you're talking about.
Yep.
So absolutely.
And this is what you always say. This is what always Kim says because she loves to be in coffee chats and meet people in person, and you love doing public speaking in groups, Kim, because this is why you say because of the connection with them. And I love that you actually say that because you have a bigger captive audience and they see you as the expert, and it's so much easier to go like, hey, so and with what I do these days, this is similar to what live streaming is. I can't be in the same room with the person, but I can be here for you and still talk to you, even though I'm looking at the camera.
And we can feel your energy.
I know. I
energy
can have a mug of coffee if I want to, right? But I think wherever we decide to speak, whether it's public speaking, whether it's doing your own show, it's just having that captive audience for yourself, right? You've shortened the distance between you and your audience. I love that because most of us only we're all like Energizer bunnies with like not enough time in the day sometimes, right? We just like, can we just have a more effective and more efficient way to meet somebody so that we can have this time and have a one-on-one. So I just want to say thank you, Shannon, for sharing all of that. And this is just important as it is as doing the live streaming show, because this is what we're talking about. Live streamers who sometimes cheat because we have notes sometimes. How I'm talking is that it's
I've got my notes off to the side over there.
No, Zeffie, it's all the same fundamentals. What we're doing, live streaming versus being on a stage versus being in a room with a small group of people. It's different mediums, but the mechanics are still the same.
Yes.
If you don't have a clear message, you don't have clear talking points, you don't have a call to action, we can spend forever talking to people. And I think that's where the frustration is, even with regular marketing. Yes. People are out there, their wheels are moving, but they're not getting a return on their investment. Like networking. Why so many people like, oh, but networking doesn't work. I'm like, really? 6 figures, 18 years, really?
Right.
And my worst day, the phone rings. But people don't have all the mechanics that Shannon stated. And the biggest mistake because when people come to me, they're like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm like, great, what's your message? What? Or I've been talking to you for half an hour, I still don't understand what you do. And you wonder why you're not getting where you want to go. So clarity around the message is key. But then, like Shannon said, the goal of public speaking, the benefit of public speaking is to be experienced and be seen as an expert. That's really the goal.
Yes.
So clarity of message, ability to connect and talk in WIFM language.
Yep.
She taught you how to do that by, intro, body, call to action. You need to have a clear call to action that works for you. Like Zeph would have a different call to action than I would, that maybe Shannon would. That's okay. As long as it's giving you the opportunity to get in front of, on a more intimate level, a member of your target audience who has a sincere desire and interest to learn more about you and how you can help them. That, in my opinion, is what a clear call to action is, whether it's to get a free report, to buy a book, to have a consult to see if you guys could work together.
Yep. That's exactly
However, But however, like Zeph says, we sometimes want to put our panties on over our pants.
I haven't
because we don't have time. We don't have time to lay it out and get it all organized. And that's we've all experienced that. And then you learn quickly or painfully, and that's why you don't get to do what you want to do when you want to do it with who you want to do it with.
Yep.
So if you guys like this today, we want to know. Send us a Zeffie, where are we going now? Because Facebook isn't it. So where we go? If people have comments or want to tell us what they loved or what they want to know more about, where do they go, boss?
All right. So I before we do that, so I do have a call to action, which is after this we'll do one. I just wanted to give Shannon the opportunity to share her information, because I do have her information right here up on the screen. People, I can't believe this is what we're talking about, being prepared. Anyways, Shannon, the best place to connect with you. We have your website, we have your email, and we have your Facebook page right up here. But we'd love to hear, where do you want us to go?
Yeah, you can go to any of the above. You can contact me through my website. You can contact me through email. And you can also give me a call, which isn't up there. It's 844-489-2837. And I'll put that somewhere in comments.
Yes, in the comments in the corner, in the right column. Yes.
Yes. And so for some reason, I can't type over there right now. I'll have to reset and try again.
Yes.
But that's 844-489-2837. And I actually have a special offer for everyone that's on this today or watching. You can, I normally do a 15 to 30, there it is. I normally do a 15 to 30 minute skills assessment where you come in and you sit down and we go through your elevator pitch or some kind of presentation with you, short presentation, and I give you some tips for improving right away. But for everybody that's on here, I'm going to give you a full 1 hour coaching session free of charge. You just have to call me or email me and mention that you saw this video, that you watched this. And I know you had to watch the whole thing because you had to get here, right? But
yes.
You watch this video, mention the Momentum Tribe, and I will give you a free 1 hour coaching session.
Whoop, whoop. This is what we're talking about. Call to action, people. Whoop, whoop. Anyways, I just want to say thank you so much, Shannon, for being here today and taking the time out of your business.
Having me.
You're welcome. And it's such a great, a lot of nice, great content, valuable content that we all can take running. And if we were to wrap this up, just understand by the last question that we had, how do we use this to grow our business? And Shannon said, build awareness. It's to build your awareness, to create a captive audience, because they're right there with you, and be seen as the expert. And like Kim said, this is the most important part, because everybody has something to share, and have value. How do you do it? This is one of the ways to do it, is by public speaking. So thank you, Shannon, for being here today with us. And I know we'll see each other soon. Be sure to take this opportunity, folks, that Shannon has offered. I'm going to tell you, it's not easy to sit down with this lady right here for an hour for a session. So go ahead and claim it. Give her a call at 844-489.
No-brainer offer.
Right. I'm sorry, 844-489-2837. Or this is her contact information again up on the screen. Be sure to connect with her, even on Facebook. I think you also have a Twitter, which I just saw today. Speak Success.
Yes.
All right. By the same company name, Speak Success. So be sure to connect with Shannon wherever you are. Last tips, Shannon, for everybody.
Yeah, so the last thing I will say is, in addition to helping to build awareness for your business and have a captive audience, be seen as the expert, one of the things that public speaking does is really helps to elevate you as a leader. So if you're looking to be a leader, whether it's in your community or in your own business or in a company that you're working for, you can really be seen as a leader. And be natural, be yourself, have fun with it. Don't be scared.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Shannon. We appreciate
Thanks for having me. It was so much fun.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
All right.
No more frozen Shannon, Tish says. We love no more frozen Shannon.
No more
frozen Shannon.
Right. Have a great day. Thank you for coming on the Momentum Tribe Mojo Show, and we'll see you around.
Thank you. Take care.
See you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
So everybody, just to let you know, before we wrap up, just if you're new to the show, we are the Momentum Tribe Mojo Show, and we go live at momentumtribe.live. You don't have to worry about, hey, do I find her do I find Kim and Zaf at Facebook? Do I find Zaf at YouTube Live? No, just go to momentumtribe.live. That's basically where we go live. It's just that people don't really, everybody's so into social media. And I'll have a different topic for a different day, but just go to momentumtribe.live. We're here Wednesdays, 11:30 a.m. Eastern or New York time, and that's 4:30 p.m. UK or London time. I do have a little bit of announcement. We are doing this special membership for this coming August, because we're planning to launch our premium Momentum Tribe membership, because we've been asked, how do we work with you all, ladies? So if you join now, go to bit.ly/MT-premium. Until August 31st, you'll be welcome as our premium member as a beta test compliments of the Momentum Tribe. And where do you go? bit.ly/MT-premium. And we'll put that in the comments. In fact, if you're here right here with us in the Crowdcast room, there's a green button that says, hey, everybody. Oh, oops, I'm sorry. My cursor just moved so fast. There's a green button that says, the call to action button that says, get free Momentum Tribe premium membership now, ends August 31st. Come join us. And then I want to say we don't have any shows for the month of August. We will resume back in September, because August is usually a time where we all have our crazy time of the year. We'll all recover, rejuvenate, and we're coming back in September full blast. And Kenya will be back with us also by then. And again, I just want to say thank you all for joining us today, Kim. So thank you so much for being here. I know we have a lot of issues. What do you say? More issues
than tissues, but we make it work because, we're worth it, and success is our birthright. So
boom.
There you go. There you go. Oh, thank you, Shannon. We're getting a lot of love from Shannon. It was a pleasure having you, Shannon. We look forward to having you back.
Thank you so much. Well, this has been an episode of the Momentum Tribe Mojo Show. We look forward to seeing you in September, Wednesdays, 11:30 a.m. Eastern or New York time. And that's 4:30 p.m. London time. Tune in, YouTube Live or hopefully by then I will be back on Facebook Live, but don't worry about all that. Just remember momentumtribe.life. Thank you very much for watching. It's all about helping you build your momentum and take action plans to get results. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Is that Kira?